everyone. Welcome to your 60-minute yin, handle it yin class. My name is Tessa. If this is your first time in a yin class, welcome. This is one of my absolute favorite styles to teach. So good for getting in deep into the muscles, allowing the fascia and the body to open up. And it's challenging at the same time as it is relaxing. So, whenever you're ready, we're going to start on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly. So, a couple options here. If you do have blocks at home, you can use those. Otherwise, you can just lay all the way on your back. No worries. I'm going to use the blocks just to demonstrate. So, first block you're going to have going this way. And that's going to go right between the shoulder blades. And then the other one is going to be on the highest height to support the back of the neck. And all you're going to do is turn around, bring the soles of the feet together to touch, and you're gently going to lay yourself over your blocks. So this may take a couple minutes if you are using blocks to find your sweet spot. Once you're here, once you find a place that feels good to you, just shut the eyes. Allow your shoulders to melt over either side of the blocks. Or if you're on the floor, just feel the earth support your body. And so in yin, we tend to hold postures longer than you would in, say, a power class or any type of flow class. So part of the challenge really is just allowing yourself to surrender completely. And just check in here. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if the breath is rapid or if it flows easily in and out of the body. Just take a deep breath in through the nose, filling up the lungs. And exhale, let it go. And just settling in here. Again, there's nowhere you need to be except for where you are right in this moment. Knees are heavy. And the opening in the hips, the groin. Maybe you even feel the stretch in the inner thighs. Really allowing your props or the earth to support you. Be here for a couple more minutes. Let go. Use your hands to guide your knees together. If you're on blocks, very carefully just roll off to the side, coming into a fetal position. Eyes are closed here. I'm just resting the head on the bicep for a moment, allowing the spine to neutralize. When you're ready, gently push yourself up to a seat. You can move the blocks out of the way for now if you were using them. And from here, we're just going to turn over onto our bellies. Coming all the way down to the tummy, into our Sphinx posture. So the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. The fingertips are facing forward. The lower body is completely relaxed. We're squeezing the shoulder blades together here. And gently push your elbows into your mat. So getting a little bit of tension here. You should feel a nice stretch in the upper abdominals. Gaze is forward. This one's so good for those of us who are constantly on the computers or texting, driving. It's so important to counter stretch the things we do on a daily basis that maybe aren't the best for our bodies, but are part of our daily lives. If you want to add a little neck stretch here as well, you can go ahead and drop the chin towards the chest, but keeping in mind to still be pulling the shoulder blades together here. So we're not allowing the shoulders to slouch forward and round. We're still keeping the chest open, just moving the head. We'll only be here for a few breaths. See if you can really send that prana, that life force energy, to the back side of the neck, into the shoulders, or wherever you're feeling any tightness. Gently bring the head back up on an inhale and slowly release your body down. Stack the palms, one hand on top of the other, and just rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. We're taking a little belly shavasana here. Go ahead and windshield wipe the legs from side to side. Keeping the forehead on your hands. I just want you guys to be able to hear me. Good. Allow the legs to fall back down towards the mat. Forehead is down. And from here, go ahead and goal post your elbows out to the side. So elbows are in a 90-degree angle. And slide your left knee in line with your left hip. So coming into our half frog posture here. And bring the left ankle in line with the left knee. You can just rest the right ear on the mat. Eyes are closed. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Let the hips sink into the earth. and let go. If your neck allows, and if it's accessible for you today, you can take the gaze to the opposite side of the room just to add an extra twist. So then if you take that, relax your left ear onto the mat. We're starting to get into the hips here. We hold so many emotions in our hips. Sometimes when we're in deep stretches, especially in yin classes, a lot of emotions or feelings can come up. Just acknowledge these feelings. Honor them. Couple more minutes here. Can you allow yourself to surrender even deeper? Take your left palm, release your leg, and we're just going to push ourselves onto the right side body, coming into a shoulder stretch. So we're going to keep that right arm exactly where it was in that 90-degree angle. And you just want to shift your weight back. So you should feel a pretty good stretch in the front of the shoulder. And this one's kind of funky. You kind of got to mess around and find exactly what works for you in your body today. And have the legs stacked. You also have the option to take that right arm all the way out and just tee it out to the side. And then you can roll even further back. But I find that keeping the elbow bent at that 90 degrees really gets into the front of that shoulder. So this is one of those ones that can get pretty uncomfortable. So just make sure you're taking deep, full breaths into that front shoulder blade. Deep inhales and exhales. We won't be in this one for quite as long. So just see if you can let yourself go. Surrender to the uncomfortability. And there's a difference between being uncomfortable and being in pain, right? Two more breaths here. On your next inhale, very gently roll back onto your belly. Stack the palms on top of the other like we did before. And bring that forehead back down onto the tops of your palms. Go ahead and windshield wipe the legs from side to side. Just releasing any tension in the lower back. Good. From here, just release the feet long behind you. We're going to come back into a Sphinx just for a second. And we're just going to walk our hands to the far corners of the front of the mat. Coming into a seal pose here. If this does not feel good in your body today, no worries. You can just take a Sphinx on the elbows like we did before. Deep breath in. Long exhale out. Gently lower back down. Palms cross, forehead rests. Switch it around real quick so you guys can still see me. And we're just going to go into the other side. So taking frog on the right side. Tee out the arms to goalpost. Rest your left ear on the mat this time and bring your right knee in line with your right hip and your right ankle in line with your right knee. Melt into the earth here. Feel that slight stretch in the right hip. Allowing to open up. And again, if you took the gaze to the opposite side on the first side, go ahead and take that again for a little twist. Allow your body to rest here. Knowing that you are fully supported by the earth now and always. And we'll be here for a few minutes. So settle in. Know that I will guide you out when it's time. Last couple breaths here. And on your next inhale, I'm going to come into that front of the shoulder stretch. So just going to push into that right hand, shifting the weight. And again, taking whatever variation you took on the last side. So if you had the arms straightened out, do the same thing on this side. Otherwise, it's in 90 degrees. Getting a nice stretch on that front shoulder. And just noticing maybe this side is a lot tighter than the other side. Maybe it feels more open. Just acknowledging where your body's at. Deep breaths here, in and out. Take 3 more breaths here. Good. And on the next inhale, very gently roll back onto the belly. Maybe wiggle the arms a little bit. And push up into tabletop. We're just going to come right into a child's pose here. So the hips melt over the feet. Knees are about mat width wide. And we're just going to walk the fingertips out. Forehead comes to the mat. A deep inhale through the nose. And open mouth, exhale, let it go. From here, gently come back up into a tabletop position. We're just going to take some fluid movement here. So maybe that looks like a couple cat-cows to you. So inhaling as you look up, exhaling as you round the spine. And just take a couple of those, allowing your breath to be your guide. Option here as well to take some hip circles. Just closing the eyes and really feeling what your body needs today. The beauty of practicing at home, right? We don't feel like there's anyone watching us. You're just free to do your own thing. If you took hip circles in one direction, go ahead and switch. Your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. From here, we're just going to push up into down dog real quick. Go ahead, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back. This is our first down dog today. Just walk the feet out. Feeling a big stretch in the calves. Head is relaxed. We're going to go into pigeon. We're just going to inhale, lift the left leg up, bend the leg, and go ahead and bring it through. So traditionally, we try to get that shin in a completely straight line. That's not realistic for everybody's body types. So allow it to relax where it feels good. So hips, try and stay stacked and just take a couple breaths here. Filling up the lungs, letting it go. And a couple options. If you have a pillow close by and you want a little bit of extra support, you can put it right in front of you and just lay over it. Or you can just release down to the elbows or all the way down. Again, we'll be here for a couple minutes. Wherever you're at, forehead rests. Again, just checking in here. Just make sure you're keeping that front foot flexed just to protect that knee. Sending deep breaths in and out. That left glute, the outer left hip. Again, this is one of the ones that if you have really tight hips, this can be really uncomfortable. Just see if you can challenge yourself to stay with it. Few more moments here. Nice. You're all the way down. Just very slowly start to come back up. Tuck the back toes and just lift the hips and bring the left foot to meet the right, coming back into downward facing dog. Once again, walk those feet out. And just notice the difference, how the left side feels compared to the right. Stop in the middle, lift the hips, drop the heels. Deep breath in through the nose. Big exhale, sigh it out. We're gonna go right into the other side. So inhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky, bend the knee. Bring right knee towards right wrist. And again, finding that juicy spot here. And just making sure your back leg is straight. And start to settle in. Maybe take a few breaths at the top. And taking the journey forward whenever you feel ready. Those front toes are flexed. And we start to settle. I love yin practices so much because it's kind of a double-sided. It's on one hand, it's relaxing and the music is nice and sleepy. But then on the other side of it, it's such a challenge, right? Because holding these postures for longer holds than we're used to can be really hard. And usually when we want to come out of something immediately because it's uncomfortable or we're not used to it, is usually the pose that we need to hold the longest or the most. So keeping that in mind, can you use your breath when you get to that point where you're ready to give up, where you're ready to let go and come out of it? Use your breath as a tool. About a minute left here. What else can you release? Couple more deep breaths in. Long exhales out. Beautiful. Gently start to walk your hands back up. And tuck the left toes, coming back up into down dog one last time. Walking your dog out. Maybe wiggling the hips as you do so. Good. From here, we're just gonna come down onto our knees. Maybe take a minute. If you need some water, you need to do a little wiggle. We're gonna go into a toe stretch here. So big toes are gonna be touching, and heels are gonna be right under your butt. From here, you can shift onto your fingertips, and we're gonna tuck the toes. So all 10 toes, you might have to reach back and adjust. And I like to just make sure I push the heels together one last time, and then you can just rest the hands on the thighs. So this stretch is a rough one for a lot of people. We're on our feet all day, every day. They do support us in every way possible, right? So it's so important to get into the fascia on the bottom of the feet and allow it to open up, to stretch. And this one can be super uncomfortable. I already feel it. So a couple options here. If you do have blocks, you can just have them on the highest height and you can kind of rest your fingertips on it for a little bit of extra support. But I want to really challenge you to stay here. Breathing through that uncomfortability. I'm just really seeing what that feels like. Maybe this is the first time you've ever done this toe stretch and you're like, what the hell are you doing to me right now? It's okay. Deep breaths in. Long breaths out. Maybe your toes start to go a little bit numb. We're almost there. We got 3 more breaths. You're doing so good. We're almost there. Last breath, inhale. And exhale, gently release. Come on to, woo, baby. Come onto your hands. Go ahead and just tap the feet out here. It always feels good after this one. From here, just go ahead, sit back on the heels with the toes untouched, and just bring the hands behind you and allow the knees to lift off the mat. So just stretching the front of the ankles should feel pretty good after the stretch. Good. Release it down. From here, we're gonna go into our caterpillar pose. So feet are gonna be straight out in front of you. And you can have a little bit of a space in between. And again, a couple options here. If you have blocks, you have 2 blocks. You can bring one in between the legs and maybe stack the other one above it. You're gonna have to kind of find what works best for you here. But ideally, you wanna be able to lengthen the spine forward and then drop the head down. Another option is using pillows. Whatever you have available at your house is totally fine. Just find what works for you. Once you get situated, take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine. And on your exhale, just start to lean forward, pivoting from the hips. And then just allow your upper body to relax. So super passive stretch here, using as many props as you need. And can you just lean forward and release? Allow the back of the neck, allow the back of the neck to drop down. Feeling that nice stretch from your neck, maybe through your shoulders, down your back, maybe even into the lower back. And then of course you should feel a slight stretch in the hamstrings, or a deep stretch if you have tight hamstrings. And just relaxing. Again, we're going to be here for a few minutes. So settle in. And you send breath to that entire backside body. Just allow it to open and to relax. Gypsy's gonna join us. All right. Few more breaths here. Slowly start to roll up. You can remove whatever props you have, just bring them to the side. From here, we're going to go into a supported bridge. So you might want to grab 1 or 2 pillows for this, depending on how much height you want underneath your hips. I'm going to use a block just for viewing purposes. I always say start on the lowest height to begin with. However, if you don't feel anything, you can take it up a notch. So you're going to lay all the way down. Soles of the feet are going to be on the floor. Take whatever prop you're using and gently lift your hips up and slide your prop directly. Ooh, feels good today. So you want to put it under that triangle-shaped bone at the bottom of your spine. You might have to adjust a little bit. Just allow the palms to open towards the sky. Sending breath into the front hips. You have a couple options here as well. If you feel real good where you're at right now, by all means stay here. Or if you want, you can play with straightening one leg, keeping the other bent, and just seeing how that feels. If this feels good, I will let you know when it's time to switch legs. If you took the variation that I'm in right now, go ahead and switch legs. Straighten out the opposite leg. Again, just noticing if there even is a difference or if it feels the same on both sides. Neither is wrong or right. Just being mindful of how our bodies feel. A couple more breaths here. If you have a leg straightened out, go ahead and bring it in. Both soles of the feet are on the mat. Very gently lift your hips up and just slide your block or your pillow out from underneath you, vertebra by vertebrae, lower down. Good. Go ahead and bring the knees into the chest. Release the fingers and just rock from side to side. Giving the lower back a massage. Stop in the middle. With your left hand, wrap around both of your legs. Extend your right palm out and just allow the knees to drop over to the left side. Coming into our spinal twist here. Again, option to take the gaze to the right side if that is accessible for you today. So both shoulders should be on the mat. And we settle in. And the next inhale, bring your gaze back to center. Bring the knees through and just drop them over to the opposite side. Again, option to take the gaze in the opposite direction. Deep healing breaths in and out. And when you're ready, gently bring the knees back to center. Releasing the fingers, rocking side to side one last time. And this time, give yourself a big hug. Bring your forehead to meet your knees. Take a deep breath, the biggest breath you take in all day. And on the exhale, release everything out. Coming into our final posture. Eyes are closed. Relax the face, the shoulders. The fingers and the hips. The legs are heavy. Toes are relaxed. And give yourself complete permission to let go. I will guide you out when it is time. Shavasana. If you are ready to move on with your day, start to wiggle the fingers, the toes, bringing some movement back into the body. Go ahead and reach the fingers overhead, taking a big good morning stretch. Gently roll onto either side, coming into a fetal position, resting the head on the bicep. Just relax here for a couple breaths. And with your eyes still closed, slowly push yourself up into your seated position. And bring the palms to heart center. Just notice how you're feeling. Hopefully you feel a little more rested, a little more open. Let's take a deep breath in together. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. One more, biggest breath of the day. Hold it at the top, take in a little bit more air. And exhale. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Just realized I'm facing completely the wrong way. Such an honor to have you, practice with you, and to guide you. If you ever have any questions about anything, yoga related or not, I'm always here to answer anything that I can. And I will see you guys next time. Namaste. A beautiful day.